Breaking news from the stadium tonight as an anonymous fan foot the bill for 55,000 hot dogs, bringing that sweet tubed meat to everyone in attendance.
Free dogs! Yeah!
55,000 hot dogs? What does that even cost?
While the identity of this Frankfurter philanthropist remains anonymous, their all-beefy generosity will go down in history.
The new Mega Millions. More to win means more to give. How you spend it is up to you.
Yeah!
For game odds and details, visit sceducationlottery.com.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have supervision, enhanced hearing, extraordinary reflexes, to be, dare we say, superhuman? Well, Roku's new Pro Series TV can't do any of that for you. But with a 4K screen, side-firing speakers, and a blazing fast refresh rate, it'll sure feel like it. Elevate your entertainment using all your favorite apps like iHeart and play all your music, radio, and podcasts with the new Roku Pro Series. Your senses aren't better. Your TV is.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. I don't know if everybody remembers the person, Famous Amos. People may remember the cookies. In fact, we have some Famous Amos cookies in our kitchen here at iHeartMedia. And I would love eating them. I mean, I've been eating them since I was a child, but I don't know if people remember who he was or how his story was so fantastic. You had a guy who worked in the entertainment industry, and he was just making cookies because he liked to make cookies, and then it became a thing. And I don't know if people know that he was the first person to have a standalone cookie stand. Now, we can talk about Mrs. Fields and any number of places now, but before there were any of them, you had Famous Amos.
The Famous Amos Chocolate Chip Cookie Company started in 1975 and had the first exclusive chocolate chip cookie store in the world. From that cookie store, a whole industry has been born. This is something that Wally started.
The idea that led to this marketing success began at a time when Wally Amos was a struggling Hollywood agent. Even then, Wally was making a name for himself with his delightful homemade cookies, distributing them freely to the rave reviews of friends and clients. Repeated suggestions that he turn his show business talents to the marketing of the cookie persuaded Amos to seek out investors in what would be the first step towards stardom for his most manageable talent, the chocolate chip cookie.
My goal was just to open this store. It was not to open another store. It was not even to open wholesale businesses. It was just to open a store to sell chocolate chip cookies. I just wanted to make a living.
In spite of Wally's modest expectations, the demand for Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies grew. Mass production of the handmade sweets followed from the success of the first store, and additional outlets became necessary to distribute the cookies to the legions of eager eaters.
I was doing things reluctantly, still holding to the vision that all I want was this one store, you know. And then ultimately, I discovered that the company has a life of its own. The cookie has a life of its own. And for me to try to control that, it would be the same as trying to control my children, trying to stunt their growth, trying to say, you know, you will only be 3 feet tall.
The company Famous Amos is now going to mark the 50th anniversary of what the man Famous Amos, Wally Amos, created with a celebration right smack dab in the middle of Hollywood. They're going to pay tribute to the founder's iconic legacy of cookies, community, and culture. And they're going to host a block party Saturday, May 3rd from noon to 5 p.m. in the outdoor space near the El Capitan Theater, right on the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. And here's the best part. Stefan, It's free 99. Free 99, open to the public. And those are the best block parties. Free block party. And open to the public, an afternoon of music, dancing, art, and of course, cookies. I might have to slide through because that's another one of my guilty pleasures, chocolate chip cookies.
Free cookies?
I don't know. It said the event is free. I'm quite sure they're probably passing out free cookies. I don't know if they're going to make you buy cookies there. I don't know. I don't work for
I would, but I'm just saying it's going to be a hell of a block party if you're giving away free Famous Amos cookies.
You're giving away free Famous Amos. That's going to be
a problem.
Yeah.
That's a party.
Yeah. Yeah. I might have to roll through.
I like this.
But it's also in concert with what Wally Amos used to do back in the 1970s and 80s, and he would do block parties. That's a part of how he would just celebrate as far as being in the industry, and this is like an homage to him in that way. There's also going to be a live mural painting. There's going to be a showcase of classic lowriders reflecting 1970s style, live DJ sets and musical performances, appearances by professional breakdancers and double Dutch jumpers, a pop-up roller skating rink, vintage cookie trucks. Here we go. Offering free cookie samples. They said samples.
Samples.
Okay.
Samples.
It's not like you're getting a whole tin of cookies.
Yeah.
And limited edition merchandise celebrating the brand's golden milestone of 50 years. And here's why it's connected to Hollywood. We heard about that first store. It got started on Sunset Boulevard back in 1975.
I love a good block party. I really do. I think in my career, being part of the launch of what is now one of Southern California's largest block parties, being the Taste of Soul. I was there at the beginning, the inaugural Taste of Soul, and we launched that event within station 100.3 The Beat. Actually, we had just turned into V100 because we couldn't do Summer Jam anymore. So we said, let's do something else. V100 launched the Taste of Soul, and that was a block party that was humongous. So this, for me, that old tradition of a block party, is such a beautiful, beautiful coming together.
It's interesting you say old tradition because it was something that was very big in the 70s and 80s. Culturally, it was very big in the African American community, and it was very big on the East Coast, less so on the West Coast. Each year when I would go back to Detroit for summer or, family reunion or something, somebody was having a block party where they would just cordon off the streets so no cars were driving up and down. You'd have a barbecue. People were just walking through. Kids could safely ride their bikes in the street, and it was an all-day party.
But it sounds like this cookie thing, they're going to be kind of tight with the actual cookies. I don't want a cookie specimen. I want some actual cookies.
Yeah, they're only promising samples. Kind of like when you walk through the mall and get a sample of Chick-fil-A.
Unacceptable.
You had the little toothpick and just get the little piece of chicken. That's about it.
Mark, you just have to get back in line multiple times. I mean, they're going to know what you're coming for. So you can't be slick. I'd like another sample, please.
Yeah, this is on them. They need to hand out actual whole cookies, not like a cookie sliver.
The event is free. You have no leg to stand on. It's free. They don't have to do anything for you. They don't even have to give you a sample, truth be told.
Why would you go otherwise?
To celebrate Famous Amos.
To
and his
celebrate
legacy.
cookies.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're entitled. Your privilege is showing.
If I show up to a cookie event, there better be cookies. Don't stiff me on the cookies if that's the whole.
Did you see Mark Runner just sort of just glide on by that? He just let that go on by.
I'm sorry. Were you talking?
He didn't want to address that with a 10-foot pole.
I don't know.
I know in the chat they caught that.
Yeah,
they caught that.
You think?
Oh yeah, they caught that.
His half black side said, "Nope,
no
sirree,
not today." When we come back, Tawala's going to help us out and explain how this Toys R Us live action movie is supposed to work. It's in the works right now, but when it comes to this big screen, how is that supposed to work? How does a toy store have a movie? Is it about the founding of Toys R Us? Like, they had the founder of McDonald's, that movie, or is it like do they have actual characters in the movie based on Toys R Us toys?
There's also the Flamin' Hot, the Cheetos movie.
Flamin' Hot.
That's true.
This is.
Do we know this?
You beat me there, Foosh.
Do we know, is it about Toys R Us, or is it like a fictionalized account where the Toys R Us turns into the story?
Toys R Us Studios, which is the company.
Yes.
Toys R Us Studios.
Yes.
Is bringing the magic of America's favorite toy store to the big screen for young and old. Look, we'll get into it.
Okay, we'll get into
it.
Deep
Story.
Okay, it doesn't sound like it makes any sense, but Twala Sharp's going to help us with it.
Do they get cookies?
We just got a one-track mind.
Let's just call a callback.
Yeah.
He thinks he's funny. KFI AM 640 live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app. And you.
What are you looking for in a new smart TV? 4K picture quality, high quality and immersive sound, a sleek design? All of those are givens, but only the new Roku Pro series has all of those and the Roku streaming experience, an award-winning OS. Get fast, easy access to all your apps like iHeart, where you can stream all your favorite music, radio, and podcasts all day, and regular all-inclusive trips to Roku City. The new Roku Pro series, a smart TV built by the streaming pros.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ekowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s Radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This April, binge these classics. The Whole 9 Yards starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. And The Fisher King with Robin Williams. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.
YouTube.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. Growing up, I was not really a Toys R Us kid. I was an FAO Schwartz kid. I was a KB Toys kid. Mark Ronner, yes, I had standards, okay? FAO Schwartz was a little bit more pricey than the other toy stores.
So you were one of the rich kids that I used to beat up.
No. Here's the story. I'm going to let that slide. My mother's mother lived in Detroit, and FAO Schwartz had a big store in Detroit in the Renaissance Center. If you say, well, what's the Renaissance Center? It's a building that looks just like the Bonaventure. But
did another child ever knock out your monocle?
Why is Daniel laughing in the hall? Why is it I hear our video technical director laughing down the hall?
He was trying to picture you. He was trying to picture you getting dragged around by your ascot.
He was really laughing at that last one, man.
I just want to talk to our YouTube audience. See what the BS I put up with on a daily basis.
Yeah, they'll sympathize with
These
you.
motherfathers don't care about me. I'll shut this whole place down. Shoot program. Pelican Bay. Anyhow. What was I talking about?
Nobody knows.
FAO Schwartz.
FAO Schwartz, yes.
Detroit. My family would go to Detroit. My mother's mother lived in Detroit. We go to the Renaissance Center. They had a big FAO Schwartz toy store there. FAO Schwartz was a high-end toy store. And I think it was also in Big.
Yes,
I think it was an FAO Schwartz store in Big, the movie Big, with Tom Hanks. It's one of the it was one of the premier toy stores. I happen to like it more than Toys R Us. Toys R Us was basically low rent. Okay, I'm sorry. I got standards.
Oh, I take that personally.
I got standards.
I mean, that's where I went. Damn.
Some people don't mind, rolling around in a bucket. I liked it, I got...
Man.
Twala was not only a Toys R Us kid, he was a Toys R Us man as an employee.
That is true.
So Toys R Us, there's a live action movie in the works. And the The film, which is in early development, aims to capture the childhood wonder in a modern, fast-paced adventure that taps into the Toys R Us brand's relevance across its more than 70 years in the toy industry. Toys R Us had gone away, and then it came back, and then it went away, and it came back. It's connected to Macy's somehow, last I remember. What's going on with Toys R Us now, and why is it they think that they can use this as a vehicle to further bring back the brand?
Well, when you have properties like Barbie that took off like a bottle rocket, what they are looking at is capturing that 70+ year dedication to the greatest toy store to ever be built.
Except for FAO Schwarz.
No, only the rich and powerful went to FAO Schwarz. Everyone else,
say it again.
The 90% of us,
the
real
oligarchs.
People, yes, we went to Toys R Us, while we were on the bread line, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out here.
Yeah, you spent your plasma check at Toys R Us, right?
I mean, wow, the disrespect is real. Like Toys R Us is where we all went as kids and had fun trying out the toys and this, that, and the other. While FAO Schwarz, they had security walking around saying things like, "What are you doing?
Okay,
get away from that."
We got to ask the chat. If you're on the YouTube live stream, here is the question for the chat. Which did you prefer? Toys R Us, KB Toys, or FAO Schwarz? Toys R Us,
KB Toys,
KB
is not
Toys,
in this conversation.
FAO
Really?
Schwarz. Look, we need at least 3 choices, okay?
Or Sticks and Mud. That's all we had. I don't like the idea of all these movies just being turned into essentially advertisements.
Right.
Well,
I agree.
Okay, look, it's what they're doing. Okay, they have the IP address, and Toys R Us Studios is going to capture the magic of the toy store and combine elements of, say, like Jumanji meets Barbie. Imagine a kid spending a night, or not even Jumanji, but maybe even Night at the Museum. A kid spends a night in a Toys R Us and all the toys come to life, and it's a magical adventure. I mean, the story writes itself. I remember working overnight, stocking the shelves. I remember working Christmas Eve and that Christmas Eve mania.
Did you steal some toys?
Hell no.
Okay, just want to check. Just want to get you on record.
No.
I mean, you've done some stuff when you were at Taco Bell.
Yes.
So I don't put it past you.
While I was working at Toys R Us, I was a stellar employee. I was a star employee. I still have my badge and my orange razor for. I have my Toys R Us shirt.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do. I still have all of it because seriously, I loved working at Toys R Us. I would go there sometimes at my time off, days off and stuff, and just walk the aisles so I could, see what came in on the day that I was off, so that when customers came in, I would be up to date on everything, it didn't matter what you were looking for. I knew where it was. I knew how to help you find it. And that's why I think that this here is going to capture that. It's going to remind people why just shopping online is not always equitable or the same as going into a store, trying out things with our Lego bin, getting on a bike and seeing if the kid really likes the bike. You can't do that online.
You know what you can do online? You can do click, 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 click.
It's not the same
click.
Feeling.
You damn right it's not the same.
It's almost like
I don't have to drive.
Toys R Us
for
toy collectors and kids. It's almost like comic shops for adults. You want to go into the comic shop.
You know the comic shops are going out of business, right?
They're not all going out of business. There's plenty of that comic shops that are thriving. And those that are thriving, they have individuals in there who want to fill the pages. They don't want to just go online and use an app to read the books. There are still those of us who want the physical thing. And that is what something like Toys R Us does. It inspires kids to dream again. Parents to remember what it was like to go shopping, late at night on Christmas Eve and let your kids go into Toys R Us. Man.
That was 1975, and it's not coming back.
It's not 1975.
So, Tawala, were you there for the Tickle Me Elmo craze?
Yes.
Was it like as crazy as that you saw on the news?
Tickle Me Elmo paled in comparison to Pie Face. Okay.
Wow.
Pie Face.
What's Pie Face?
It is a game where literally you put whipped cream on a exploding pie train. It would just like slap you in the face if you didn't get the question right.
What?
Yeah, it was.
They couldn't sell that today, could they?
No, they still sell. They still sell. Yeah. It was phenomenal. It was literally
like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
No, it was literally.
It's like a spatula type, and it hit. If you don't get it right, it just
whacks
you in the face.
Some whipped cream in your face. It's fun. It's fun times. It's fun times.
You're saying I need to go into the store to buy that. I can't get that on Amazon.
Look, why are you such a Grinch?
Is that,
why are you just
is that the hill you're going to die on?
You know what? Okay, look.
Hey, Mark.
I'm sorry that they didn't have
something witty to say. Insult him, please.
Well, I don't think people want
FAL Schwartz.
I don't think people want to pay to go to a movie that's nothing but an advertisement. When you watched Last Tango in Paris, did you feel like it was an advertisement for butter? That's a deep cut, and you're going to get disgusted when you realize what I just said.
No. Someone should have gone to jail for that.
Yes.
Wasn't that Marlon Brando?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. From what I've read, that was an actual sexual assault.
Okay. I mean, I didn't want to get that far into it.
Well, I guess you just did.
I guess you did.
You opened the gate.
Yes.
You literally just opened that wide open, Mark.
You just kind of walked on in.
Yeah, right. Well, between, getting a pie in the face and...
we can see you, Mo. We're seeing what you're doing now. Yes. Okay. I love it. You can't hide anymore. Our gestures. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you were saying, Mark.
No. Chihuahua really knows how to have fun between the pie in the face game and paying to sit through a 2-hour Toys R Us ad.
Bring back Toys R Us, damn it. I can't say that. I can't be proud of Toys R Us.
No, iHeart has counseling available to you. I think as an employee, probably for free. I mean,
there's literally nothing wrong. I know, Mark. I know you're an adult. Okay, maybe you didn't grow up with toys. You had Etch a Sketch.
Did you have any toys growing up, Mark? You always tell us about your very complicated upbringing.
It was a little sparse, and I was never allowed to go to a Toys R Us. I always wanted to.
Do you see? Now look, Mark is going to be in theaters crying. He's going to be in the back,
I let it go
letting tears shed.
Because Mark, I am now a functional adult male. I don't any longer feel the
let
need.
It out, Mark.
Seriously, Mark, you need Toys R Us. Jeez,
like you said, there's counseling,
man.
my friend.
Mark, you want me to take you to FAO Schwartz?
No,
I think he wants to go to Toys R Us. I think he needs to get that memory.
Yeah. You're a Toys R Us kid. Someone play the song for him. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
I don't need this. Tuala needs this.
I work
there.
A hug, Mark. I work there. I
definitely do not need a hug.
I'm coming in to hug you down.
I'm sensing aggression on your part, Mark.
Yes, you are. That's well. You got that right. I do not need a hug. I don't need the Toys R Us ad. And if I want to buy up the childhood that I never had, that's what eBay's for.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You really flip your lid. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. Gee whiz! I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy, I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We have a Netflix update, and it proves everything we've ever said on this show was right.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and the YouTube. And YouTube chat is out of control. I need to explain something very quickly to the people who are in the YouTube chat. There's a thing called a toy store, and there's a thing called a toy section. We were talking about toy stores. KB is a toy store. Toys R Us, toy store. FAO Schwartz, toy store. Sears is not a toy store. Jimco is not a toy store. At best, you had a toy section, a row. Okay, that's not a toy store. Gosh, you're some broke fools.
They shouted out Fedco. They were shouting out Sears. Toy sections.
Okay, need to tighten up your toy game. Let me talk about Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos. He was sitting down for a Time 100 celebration interview, and he was asked basically about the state of movies and the state of streaming and where everything was going. And if you listen to this, what I'm getting ready to play you, it sounds like either we were channeling him or he was channeling us, because he was basically saying everything that we had been saying about the future of the movie industry. Check this out.
The box office is down. The LA film business is shaky. People are out of work. Your competitors' market share is sinking. But Netflix business is thriving. Have you destroyed Hollywood?
No, we're saving Hollywood.
You're saving Hollywood.
Yeah, look, what's the big difference of everything you just listed there is that Netflix is a very consumer-focused company. We really do care that we deliver the programming to you in a way you want to watch it, that it's programming that you love and desire. So we don't let, a lot of other outside forces get in the way of that. So an example, I think, is you mentioned the box office being down. Just by way of example, what does that say? What is the consumer trying to tell us?
Right.
That they'd like to watch movies at home. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the studios and the theaters are, duking it out over trying to preserve this 45-day window that is completely out of step with the consumer experience.
Thank you.
Just loving a movie.
But you don't just work with consumers, you work with creators, and sometimes they want to put their films in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Daniel Craig wants Knives Out 3 in theaters. Greta Gerwig convinced you to release her upcoming Narnia movie in theaters. When do you decide just to give in to someone?
We have these bespoke releases, basically, for a movie to come out that we'll try to, we have to do some qualification for the Oscars, so they have to run for a little bit. It helps with the press cycle a little bit because the press likes to talk about movies in theaters too. But I try to encourage them, every director we work with, to focus on the consumer, focus on the fans. Make a movie that they love and they will reward you. And that's that. But in general, I also realize that we're in a period of transition. Folks grew up thinking, I want to make movies on a gigantic screen and have strangers watch them and play in the theaters for 2 months and people cry and sold out shows. It just doesn't happen very much anymore. It's an outdated
So when
concept.
someone gets up at the Oscars and says, we need to make movies for movie theaters, for the communal experience, that's just an outmoded idea.
I believe it is an outmoded idea. For most people, not for everybody. There are people, if you're fortunate enough to live in Manhattan and you can walk to a multiplex and see a movie, that's fantastic. Most of the country cannot.
I don't think there's anything else we need to say. That's pretty much it. That's telling you where the industry is going and how you individually, or maybe just you and your friends, may love the communal experience of watching a movie, but that's not the majority anymore. We like to watch movies at home. Now, is it as great, and I put that in air quotes, great as seeing a blockbuster in a theater of 150 people on an IMAX screen? Probably not. But if I don't have to worry about getting in a fight with people, if I don't have to worry about people kicking the back of my chair, if I don't have to worry about waiting in line because for concessions because they only have one person behind the counter who's taking forever to get everybody's food, yeah, I'll stay my ass at home. Thank you very much.
Where are you going to get your nuggets, though?
You can get those at the store.
You really can.
You really can.
That's true.
Just about all the movie theater food is available in stores. Obviously, all the candy. Obviously, the hot dogs. Obviously, the chicken fingers. All that kind of stuff is available. And what I mean by that is the actual exact same food. It may not be branded as that, but all these places get their food from like Cisco Foods, whatever, the same vendors of food. Yeah. It's not different. So I don't know what the movie theater offers me. It used to be they offered me a film that I could not see anywhere else but in theaters. Okay, I'll wait 2 weeks. But
see, the thing about it is it's beyond just about the films itself. It's the creature comforts that home offers that the theater does not. For something like Sinners, yes, it was great seeing it on the big screen. I absolutely loved watching on the big screen. I want to see it again in IMAX so I can see it as it's meant to be seen. All that, right? But something like Mickey 17, hell no, man. That was meant to watch at home so I can pause it and be like, I'll come back to this. I'm going to go warm something up. Not me having to get there, go and try to get something before the film shows, go in and sit through this whole damn thing, losing my mind. And no,
But here's the problem. A lot of the new concept movies, the original movies, they're not event movies.
No.
If it is not an event movie, something that I feel that I got to see or people are talking about, Mickey 17, Novocaine, any number of movies. No, I'm just going to wait. And it may be a great movie, but it's not going to be worth me taking the risk of dealing with the theater experience, dealing with it, theater experience and a bad movie and a bad experience overall, the gas wasted. No, I'll just wait. I'll just be patient and wait for a mediocre movie and watch it at home, and maybe it will pleasantly surprise me. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We'll catch up with George Norrie. And on my final thought regarding Shannon Sharpe, if you don't know the latest, it got really bad for Shannon Sharpe today.
What are you looking for in a new smart TV? 4K picture quality, high quality and immersive sound, a sleek design? All of those are givens, but only the new Roku Pro Series has all of those and the Roku streaming experience, an award-winning OS. Get fast, easy access to all your apps like iHeart, where you can stream all your favorite music, radio, and podcasts all day, and regular all-inclusive trips to Roku City. The new Roku Pro Series, a smart TV built by the streaming pros.
We've all done it. You see a headline but don't have time to read the whole story, or there's so much news you're not sure what is worth your time. I'm Colby Ickowitz, co-host of Post Reports, the weekday afternoon podcast from The Washington Post. Post Reports brings you what's relevant and revealing. Breaking stories, politics, wellness, culture. Each episode goes beyond a headline for the context you need. Find Post Reports now, wherever you're listening.
Deciding on what to listen to is hard. Using Zumo to stream music from iHeart 90s Radio is easy. Or play iHeart Country or Hip Hop Beats. Your choice, all for free. Stream easy with Zumo Play. Get live and on-demand entertainment with no logins, no signups, no accounts, no hassle. This April, binge these classics. The Whole 9 Yards starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry. Adaptation with Nicolas Cage and Meryl Streep. And The Fisher King with Robin Williams. All streaming free on Zumo Play. Go to play.zumo.com now. Life is hard. Zumo is easy.
It's going to get worse. We'll tell you about it next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube right now, still at Mr. Mo Kelly, and the iHeartRadio app, Coast to Coast AM, with George Norrie, who joins me right now. Good evening, sir.
Mr. Kelly, how you been?
I've been doing well. Doing well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
Great. We got a great show tonight. We're going to talk about the wonders of the universe, and then later on our investigative reporter Cheryl Jones joins us to talk about strange and unusual things on Coast to Coast.
What do you consider strange and unusual, George, at this point in your career?
Just about everything, Mo.
Still? Even still?
Even still.
All right. I'll be tuning in. I'll see you soon. All right. Before we get out of here, I said in the first segment that I was going to use Shannon Sharpe as part of my final thought in this last segment. And I want to take my time with this one because there is a lesson in here for somebody. Even though you may not be as wealthy as Shannon Sharpe, or even as old as Shannon Sharpe for that matter, there's a lesson in here as far as how decisions seemingly insignificant can have an outsized impact on your life. And we told you about some of the allegations and accusations facing prominent sports personality and podcaster Shannon Sharpe, and they range from sexual assault to forcible rape. And to be clear, this is a civil lawsuit, not a criminal one or criminal charges. So this will be an issue of liability, not a criminal judgment. But also that means the standards of proof are remarkably different. In a criminal proceeding, the standard of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. We're all familiar with that. But in a civil proceeding, the standard of proof required is a preponderance of evidence. It's much, much lower threshold, meaning it's just about who has a little bit more evidence than the other. The preponderance of evidence, on which side does it fall? That determines whether someone is found liable or not liable. Put another way, it's much more likely that this will not go the way that Shannon Sharpe would want it to go, as opposed to if there were charges. But speaking of charges, depending on what happens in discovery for this lawsuit, there's nothing to say that there won't be enough evidence for the DA to decide to step in and file charges, because the lawsuit is very, very exact and explicit regarding detailed alleged rape. So that's also a possibility. In other words, it can get much worse before it gets better for Shannon Sharpe. And I mention all this because Shannon Sharpe announced today via a written statement on social media that he is stepping back and taking a leave from ESPN, one of his streams of income. I don't need to read it. It's a boilerplate. He denies all the allegations, says he'll be vindicated, thanks his supporters, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You've all read them before. You've heard them before. It's boilerplate. But this final thought is specifically for young people. And I think of young people in their teens or 20s. You need to hear this more than anyone else. You need to know that just because you do something off the clock or not at your job, you can still ruin your life. You can still ruin your professional life. You can still make it difficult for you for the rest of your life. You can still get your contract voided. You can still destroy everything you worked for. You may not know this, but Shannon Sharpe was eyeing a $100 million deal connected to his Club Shay Shay podcast. $100 million. That was just reported earlier this week. In fact, one day before this lawsuit was filed. And don't get me wrong, Shannon Sharpe was already a multimillionaire. It's not about whether he's going to be destitute. But $100 million deals don't come around twice if you fumble away the first one, asked Jonathan Majors. A common refrain by defenders of Sharpe is that, well, what's wrong with what he did? It was two consenting adults. Well, that's actually up for debate and the whole point of the lawsuit. But the lawsuit, let's put that aside for a second. Let's just say Shannon Sharpe did not engage in any level of sexual assault. And again, this is specifically for young people. Just because something is legal, i.e. consenting adults engaging in sex, it does not mean that it is defensible. Did you all get that? Just because something is legal, young people, it does not mean it is defensible. And it does not mean that there aren't consequences to the person who happens to be a public figure. Most entertainment personalities, and this includes me. I don't like to think of myself as a public figure, but it does include me. Most entertainment personalities have contracts with infamy clauses. Some call them morals clauses, meaning you don't even have to get arrested. You don't have to even get charged with a crime or convicted of one. You can just do something which embarrasses your employer. End up in a TikTok video harassing someone. Be a Karen. Be part of a protest at the Capitol on January 6th. It could be big or it could be really, really small. But if it is embarrassing to your employer or brings infamy to your employer, you can be gone immediately. Immediately. So don't think, well, whatever I do on social media is my business. That's private. Now, No. Don't make that mistake. Far too many people seem to think that what you do on your quote unquote own time has no bearing on your job. No, you are always an ambassador for your job. Hear me, young folks. You are always an ambassador for your job, regardless of being at will or under contract. And here's the takeaway. The lesson of Shannon Sharpe is that this was of his own doing. Regardless of how this lawsuit turns out, he is not a victim. Whereas there is nothing inherently illegal about a 56-year-old man dating a 19-year-old OnlyFans model, there's still some discussion of when they actually met, when they actually started, quote-unquote, dating, and whether there was an exchange of money in this relationship while they were dating, lawsuit notwithstanding. But when you exhibit horrendous judgment, you're Shannon Sharpe, you're a multimillionaire, you're looking at $100 million deal. Why you think someone who's 19 years old at the time you allegedly started dating has as much to lose as you, the 56-year-old with the public figure, public personality, the $100 million deal on the table? Why you would think that dating her is in any way keeping your life and livelihood safe just means that you don't deserve that $100 million deal at all, because you fumbled the bag because you were thinking with the wrong head. Young people, it can happen to you. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
What you need to know and when you need to know it.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
One lottery ticket makes a big difference for our state students. And when I say big, I mean bigger than jackpot big. Since 2002, South Carolina students have benefited from more than $6 billion in lottery-funded scholarships and grants, including the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. With every lottery play, you're supporting our students, and that adds up in a big way. That's why education is our middle name. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Hello, iHeart listener. We have a confession to make. Both iHeart and this commercial you're listening to right now would probably sound a heck of a lot better on the new Roku Pro Series TV. It's got side-firing speakers that fill your room with sound, Dolby Atmos audio that puts you right in the middle of the entertainment, and the ability to pair seamlessly with your home theater sound systems that already have surround sound and booming bass. If all that sounds too good to be true, it'll sound even better on the new Roku Pro Series. Your hearing isn't better, your TV is.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.